Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about 5 caulking tricks for the best possible results. In this video, I'll be going over 5 simple tips, tricks, and strategies that will help you get the best results whenever you are using caulking with a caulking gun or a caulking dispenser like this. Let's get right into the video. These are really easy tricks, and even if you're just a do-it-yourselfer like myself or a professional, these will help you get the best possible results. Will it be perfect every single time? No, that will take skill, that will take practice. But these tips and tricks and strategies and pieces of advice will help you get the best possible results given your experience level. So let's get right into the video. Tip or trick number 1 is going to be to clean the area thoroughly and let it dry fully, okay? Now here's the thing. A lot of people will apply new caulking over old caulking, and that's really not advisable. If you're doing something very temporary, it'll last a very short period of time. I've done it myself when I'm doing something extremely temporarily. However, if you're going for a long-term result and you want a good possible finish, the best possible finish that you can achieve, then you need to clean the area thoroughly and let it dry completely. That means scraping off all the old caulking, cleaning everything off of it so that it is literally like completely smooth, and then letting it dry completely. When you know that it's completely dry, you're going to give the caulking the best chance to adhere to that corner or to that area, okay? So that's tip number 1, clean it thoroughly, let it dry fully. Tip or trick or strategy or piece of advice number 2, depending on what you want to call it. Number 2 is to tape for a perfectly straight line. So here's the thing. Yes, if you're professional, you won't need tape, okay? I have caulked so many things in my multiple houses over the years. I only have one house at the time of filming this, but we've owned 2 houses. We had our old house, and now we have this new house. And I've recaulked all of the bathrooms, anything that was tiled. I've recaulked everything in both houses pretty much. And when I did the renovation in the old house, I caulked the entire basement area. Like anything that I could have used caulking for, I did, okay? So, what I learned is that even with that much experience, tape will give you like a perfect line, right? If I don't use tape, I can still get a very good line. But when I use tape, I can get literally a perfect line. So what I did here, I'll just give you a better view, is I actually taped off the top and the bottom, and I left just the corner right here. Now, here's the thing. When I'm doing a caulking job, oftentimes my caulking bead won't even hit the tape, right? But the tape is there that if it goes over, right, it's going to give it a nice straight line at the end. So, you can put the tape there as a backup and still do a nice thin line, and you might not even touch the tape. But the thing is, if it goes over the taping area, your tape is going to ensure that you get this still this uniform straight line. So to be honest with you, I use tape almost every single time I'm doing a caulking job, just because it just ensures that it's going to be a perfect job. If I'm trying to do it fast, I won't tape it off. If I'm trying to do it well, I will tape it off. Okay, and this is just an example. And when you are taping, so you do the masking tape on the top and the bottom, you mask it off to get a straight line. You will go ahead and you will apply the caulking, and you pull the tape off when the caulking is still wet. That's the key here. If you let the caulking dry and then you pull the tape off, you might not get as good of a result. So you want to pull that tape off when the caulking is still wet. Number 3 involves the actual tube of caulking. Now we're moving on to the tools over here and the materials. You want to cut the hole to fit the job size. So if you are going for a very thin line of caulking, a very thin bead of caulking, you want to cut the tip to just be very small. Okay. If you're going for a bigger bead of caulking, like something along the outside of a window, for instance, you want to probably go with a bigger cut. So you want to cut the tip to fit the job. I'll give you an example. In the new house, in the upstairs main hallway bathroom, it has 4 bathrooms, okay? And I've caulked all of the showers, the bathtubs, and all of the tile work in all of the bathrooms. So I've literally done a ton of caulking just in this house alone, okay? And the trim that I've done, I've caulked to give it a nice smooth finish at the end and give it a nice airtight seal. And I've caulked so many things in this house, okay? Now, when I was caulking the bathroom that I was just speaking about, the upstairs main hallway bathroom, which is just like the upstairs hallway bathroom, basically, there was a spot where there was this much of a gap between the tile and the bathtub, okay? It's probably about this big. And I don't have the tile to finish the job. They didn't leave me that tile. They've left me lots of excess tiles, but not that tile. So what I had to do is I had to cut the tip to be pretty big so that I could apply a nice big thick bead of caulking to cover that whole area. The goal wasn't to make it look absolutely astonishing. The goal was to make it watertight and make it look look pretty good. So it wasn't a thin bead of caulking like this. It was much bigger, but it got the job done. It's watertight, it's water sealed, so I don't have to worry about any water leaks or any leaking or anything like that. And it looks pretty good. You know, it looks as good as it can be. So, you know, for smaller beads of caulking, cut the tip to be smaller. For bigger ones, cut the tip to be bigger, okay? That was tip strategy number 3. Cut the caulking tip hole to fit the job size. Number 4 has to do with your actual caulking gun or caulking dispenser, whatever you want to call it. There's actually 2 things on this that you should know about. You actually have a spout cutter that will cut the spout or the tip of the caulking tube, and you actually have a piercing tool that will pierce it. So check this out. When I push this in, watch what happens to the spout cutter. There is the cutting tool. It will cut the tip of the caulking tube. So I'll do it right now. This is actually an old tube of caulking. It's expired. I'm not going to use it. So I figured I would just use it for this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and and this is an old caulking dispenser. So that probably doesn't even work that well, but it will still work. So I'm going to go and I'm going to cut it. I'm trying to do this at a good angle on camera here. Usually I would turn it the other way, but I'm trying to stay on camera. So as you can see right here, it cuts the tip of the tube of caulking, just like that. Now, as an added bonus rule, try and get the tip like at an angle, not flat, but at an angle. It just looks a lot better, and it's just easier to work with, because when you are, sorry about that, just move the camera. When you're moving your tube of caulking along, right, you're doing it at an angle. So try and cut it at an angle so your angle of your caulking tube tip meets your angle that you're holding it at. And then you have the piercing tool right here. Like I said, I'm going to be throwing this tube out. It's expired, I'm not going to use it. So you can take the piercing tool, insert it in there, and check this out. If I push it all the way in like that, guess what happens? I will just pierce through the seal of the tube, just like that. So I pushed it all the way in, and when I pull it out, you can see all the caulking right there. I just pierced through. I'm trying to not get my hands dirty because I actually have to go to a family event after this. So I'm going to leave this like that, not going to touch it. And I'll just clean it up after with some paper towel. So that's number 4. Your caulking gun or caulking dispenser has a spout cutter and a piercing tool on it. And tip number 5, last but not least, is to use an enhanced way of smoothing out the bead of caulking. So what a lot of people do is they'll, apply the bead of caulking over there with the caulking dispenser. They will dip their finger in water and then just slide it along to smooth it out. And that works really well. But what you can do is you can actually spray Windex on it. So you can spray like some glass cleaner on it. So apply the bead of caulking with your caulking gun over there, okay? With your caulking tube over there. Once the bead of caulking is there and it is still very, very wet, you want to spray just a little bit of Windex, and then you can slide your finger along it and it will smooth it out and it'll do a better job at it. I've heard of people using soapy water as well. From my experience, that has worked. You can use a few different things, but dipping your finger in water and sliding it along works well. But, if you can spray something that makes it work even better, it just makes that much easier to get the proper finish. So experiment, try it out, see what works for you. I use Windex, that's what I use, but maybe soapy water works best for you, or maybe just dipping your finger in water works best for you. But whatever works for you, do it. And like I said, I use a spray bottle to apply the Windex, and because it already comes in a spray bottle anyways, or whatever glass cleaner you choose to use. And I use a spray bottle if I'm using soapy water as well. I've tried both methods. They've worked well for me. I can't complain about either. They produce a great finish. So that's it. Those are 5 caulking tricks for the best possible results. I hope that you've enjoyed these tricks, tips, strategies, and pieces of advice so you can get the best possible caulking results whenever you are using caulking for any application. And that's basically it. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.